Hi, I'm Barb Hannelly, and I'm singer-songwriter, and I play bass.
And I'm Nicki Kangas, and I play the guitar.
I'm Danielle Driscoll, and I play the drums, musical saw, backup vocals, and keyboard.
Joey Miller, keyboard player, sometime drummer, and guitar noodler, and sometimes tambourine wiggler.
And shaker.
Shaker. Epic shaker. It's a passion project.
It really is.
It's a passion
yes,
project.
up until forming the Ruby Woos, I was limited to like being a fan, but I think at that point I'd already moved on, and I was like, fucking, I'm gonna play music.
Welcome back to Stinger Sound Sessions. I'm multimedia editor Cristian Gonzalez, and we're back in the newsroom with the Ruby Woos. Put a tip in the sorry jar, and let's get started.
Barb and I met because Barb had a magazine, and she was a publisher for, it was called Kid Around, and so I was introduced to her during that time, and then we both started doing burlesque together. So we were burlesque dancers for 10 years together, but also during that time, like, we both knew that we both loved music so much, and we're always pursuing, like, our love of music and dance at the same time. Joey and I became super good friends because we both have a huge love for the outdoors.
And I met Danielle an eternity ago because my boyfriend found her on AOL Instant Messenger. She was living in Massapequa
In New York,
And
I was
try-
16.
and she was trying to move as far away from New York as possible. Sac State.
So we started the band at the beginning of the pandemic. Everything shut down, and Nicki was in a band in San Francisco called Dirty Denim. She stopped doing that. We all have like ADD just at some level. It just so happened that we all decided to hyperfixate on music at the same time. So yeah, I started taking some music classes. Joey had some space where we could make a she cave, and we moved in a bunch of instruments and just started meeting after work like once or twice a week. My dad was in a band when he was in high school. He was in like a doo-wop band, and when I was growing up, I remember he had a bass, but he stopped playing because all of his buds ended up going to Vietnam and stuff. So their band was out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, called the El Rays, and they disbanded.
Actually, my dad was in like a doo-wop band as well when he was in high school, and I have all these.
Seriously?
Yeah. He still plays rhythm guitar, and we used to kind of jam together when I was a kid. Same with my brother.
I bought a vintage guitar, and I thought it was so cool, and I brought it to practice one time, and it weighed like 20 pounds, and I was like, screw this, and I went and bought like a bass for little kids. So that's actually what I play with. Pat Benatar, Hart, well, Joan Jett's one that did that, but there really wasn't a lot of role models in terms of that.
I was just angry as a child. I was a product of Bikini Kill and Sleater Kinney.
I was in the Rick Springfield fan club.
No.
Bikini Kill, Heavens to Betsy.
Sleater Kinney has been one of my favorite bands from childhood.
Yacht rock. I love Ambrosia and like Atlanta Rhythm section. I love like Nine Inch Nails and Depeche Mode, Foo Fighters, Desert Rock, Queens of the Stone Age.
Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath. I really love New Wave. For lyrics, I really love Fiona Apple. I think she's amazing.
Rock, pop. I don't know. We have all kinds of stuff going on. And I was like, this is gonna be like a shit show.
I grew up in a place that's very rural, and we didn't really have a lot of exposure to culture and arts. I started playing music. I didn't have anyone who was teaching me, and I just really wanted to learn because I loved music so much. It was something that was kind of a constant in my life. It's not something that, little girls are like taught that they should do. They're not guided into this pathway, right? So I don't know why it was that I really felt just that I wanted to be a part of this, but I have always wanted to be a part of it, and I'm so grateful now. I'm like 41 years old, and that I'm in a band, that we released an album, and I get to play music with my best friends. It's the coolest thing in the world, But it's not something that most people are kind of guided toward, and I would like to see more young women be exposed to the fact that they can become musicians, because it's such a healthy and awesome thing for us to do.
We recorded at a local studio. Yeah,
Earth
Earth Tone. He reached out to us and was like, "You guys are cool. Like, if you guys want to record," and we were like, "Okay." He helped us tie them all together, and I'm really proud of us. Like front to back, it's a cohesive, like, good listen. I'm super proud. Yeah, we played that skate show at an elementary school, and we were like, "Oh my god!" Like, they're gonna like laugh at us, and they were like. There was like a small mosh pit. It was really cool.
Back then it was like, because I moved here in 2000, it was Deftones,
Hella.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There were
Hella.
so many awesome bands, and there was such a community, so I felt really drawn to coming here. More than anything for that, plus the fact that Sacramento is the most diverse city in the country at that time.
I always explain Sacramento to people. I live on the road, I travel a lot, and I explain it as the Three Little Bears because it's just right. You know, everybody's just been really supportive everywhere we go, and keep playing music, don't give up, have a good time. And I think musically, I haven't experienced any shade. We experience shade in the backcountry, we've experienced shade in a lot of spaces, but creatively in music, have not experienced the shade, and I like that about Sacramento.
So a friend of ours, Sasha, she actually had a musical saw, and she was in a local band at the time. And I was at her house, and she showed me the saw, and I was very intrigued by it. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And so I thought I could just go out and go to Home Depot and buy a saw and just, start playing. So I went to Home Depot and bought a saw. and I had a violin bow, and I got home and I wouldn't make a noise. It was just screeching, and so talked to my friend, asked her where she got hers from.
Was this
and
before the internet and you couldn't actually look it up?
No.
We had internet.
There was internet.
We had internet.
And I ended up getting on old timey music, but yeah, I don't play it as much as I probably should, but I really do enjoy playing it, and it's a lot of fun.
Super cool.
It is fun.
for that happy trail blazed the way for dudes to drop trowel in the name of equality. And no, we're not talking about non-consensual dick pics, about Hollywood lighting, cinematography. Ew. And we're not talking about Marky Mark, because that was fake. We're talking about Richard Gere, Willem Dafoe, Colin Farrell, Jason Segel, Jay Davidson, Ken Jeong, Peter Sarsgaard, Heath Ledger, Ben Affleck, Kevin Bacon, Chris Pine, Michael Fassbender, King of Full Frontal, Ewan McGregor. But it all started back in '72 with the first guy that had the balls to almost show his balls.